This is a Dragon Blazer production.
Coming soon to a podcast near you.
Hey, what's up? I'll leave you alone forever now. You know this one girl with hair like this?
Yes, that's Ramona Flowers.
She's out of your league.
You know her? Tell me now.
She just moved here, got a job at Amazon.
I have to order something really cool.
Scott, are you waiting for the package you just ordered?
Maybe.
Scott Pilgrim?
Hi, I was thinking about asking you out, but then I realized how stupid that would be.
That's okay. You just need to sign for this, all right?
So do you want to go out sometime?
If I say yes, will you sign for your damn package?
So yeah, 8 o'clock? Come to this Battle of the Bands thing.
You have a band.
Yeah, we're terrible.
Mr. Pilgrim! I'm Ramona's first evil ex-boyfriend.
What?
Wait, we're fighting over Ramona?
Didn't you get my email explaining the situation?
I skimmed it.
Mm-mm.
What was that all about?
If we're gonna date, you may have to defeat my 7 evil exes.
So what you're saying is we are dating?
I guess.
Does that mean we can make out?
Sure.
Scott Pilgrim!
Prepare to feel the wrath of the League of Evil Exes.
Ramona dated twins.
At the same time? If you want something bad, you have to fight for it. Step up your game, Scott.
Combo!
Break out the L word.
Lesbian?
The other L word.
Lesbians?
What are you doing?
Getting a life.
You want to fight me for her? Why on earth would you want to do that?
Because I'm in love with her.
Scott Pilgrim versus the world.
Maybe next time we don't date the girl with 11 evil ex-boyfriends.
Okay.
Oh, that's not that bad.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Coming Soon to a podcast near you. I'm your host, as always, Stevie Blaze, and this is my co-host, Ramona's eighth evil ex, Xavier.
Hello, no. First off, no. I guess I can be a little quirky, but not that quirky. Also, following us as always is Toto Shodoroki.
No. See, the only proper response to what I just threw at you would have been to say, "You're next, Scott Pilgrim."
I still haven't thought of my Senate mantra, but that's fine. Anyway, let's begin our synopsis. I should really do like some sort of musical tune whenever we like get into the synopsis or the Rotten Tomatoes and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You want jingles?
Old jingles. I have a harmonica. I could make a jingle out of.
I mean, I can make jingles. That's not a problem. You can
Yeah, but
jingle this up.
I don't know. Yeah, but you know what's better than edited jingles? Real jingles.
Okay, well then find your damn harmonica. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, but I've got like a microphone and my earphones on. And I'm ready to do this. So.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, well, if you couldn't tell from the intro, we watched Scott Pilgrim versus the World for our comic book movies.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you right now, I love this movie. This is a fantastic movie in my eyes. It's just fun. It's ridiculously fun. I love it. But let's get into the synopsis.
Alrighty.
So, the movie Scott Pilgrim. Scott, this is pretty much how it starts. Scott is dating a 17-year-old girl.
And he's like 22, so.
And he's 22. Aren't
I
you
mean,
like 28? But
I mean, the weird thing is like that's a weird question. Like when's a time in someone's age where it becomes wrong, that where small age difference becomes wrong, because like it's not wrong for an 18-year-old to date a 17-year-old. I don't think it's too wrong for a 19-year-old to date a 17-year-old. I think it is pretty wrong for a 20-year-old to date a 17-year-old. 22-year-olds dating 17-year-olds is just straight up that's wrong.
well,
I'm pretty
just
sure the same thing could be said with like 22-year-olds and 18-year-olds as well, but like because like at that point they are at an age of consent, like they're adults. However, I don't think it's the same thing if like it's a 30-year-old dating like a 25-year-old, because there's a difference between a young adult who hasn't really gone in the world yet and people who are well into their 20s.
so you're saying that if your mom would have dated me when I was 17, it wouldn't have been cool. But since we started dating at 18 and 23, it's fine.
That's exactly the opposite of what I'm saying, actually. And no, I did not know that. I did not know that.
I was 18 when I got with your mom.
Okay.
Your mom's 5 years older than me. Same gap as Scott Pilgrim and Knives Chow. Except for I was 18.
Continue with the synopsis, please. Yeah,
Okay.
that's a weird thing to dwell on.
Anyways,
Also, I got a haircut. By the
yeah,
way.
I noticed. I noticed.
I'm sure you did.
And
there's hair stuck in
now
in
I
my
will.
microphone.
I will say this: that Knives is really, really nice, but it's like she's void of all personality. Till later in the show,
Yeah,
like she's just
I
kind of
think
obsessed
that's
with
the
Scott.
point. Like, yeah, I think that's her point. She's obsessed. That's her motif. She's an obsessed 17-year-old who likes everything who likes everything that Scott likes.
However, despite all this, Scott is a dick. Scott's
Oh
a
yeah.
dick. I love this movie. I love Scott Pilgrim, but he's a dick through a lot of this movie. He just is. Wallace, however, is amazing. Love Wallace. He's probably my favorite character in this movie. He's hilarious. Do you remember who Wallace is?
Is he the very openly gay guy who keeps, or is he the guy who text who texted people in his sleep?
Yes, it's
Okay.
it's his gay roommate, who is played by Macaulay Culkin's younger brother, Kieran Culkin, and he is fantastic. I love this guy. Number one, let's just throw in the gay representation. He's gay. He's very openly gay, and but he doesn't
He doesn't
fit
fit
like
the stereotype.
he's not a gay stereotype. They didn't have him be overly gay. He just is. And I love that about him. He's a fantastic character. He's hilarious. I love the I love all the stupid ways of him falling asleep and texting Scott's sister, who just yells at him. So I'm sorry, it's funny. It is so funny.
Yeah.
Um
I feel like we didn't get enough of Scott's sister. I feel like she should have been more of like a presence or of importance in the movie, but that's just me.
yeah.
She seemed like the only normal person in the entire movie, and we didn't see any of her. That's probably the reason, because she would have made the movie too normal if
Yeah.
she was
There's
there
nothing
too
normal. Nothing normal about this movie. Ramona is pretty interesting. I find her very intriguing. And then Scott starts acting exactly like Knives is acting to him.
Only, he started cheating on her with her, so.
Oh no, my next point is, and he's still a dick for not breaking up with Knives.
Yeah.
He's a dick.
At least he had a good excuse when he did break up with her, but still.
Well, I mean,
he still cheated.
Wallace essentially forced him to break up with her. Like,
oh yeah,
I love. He's like telling her to break up, and then Scott has to keep on going double standard because he starts cheating with his sister's boyfriend.
Oh jeez.
Like Wallace is also a dick, but he just owns it and is like, Scott, you don't need to be a dick. Break up with Knives.
Yeah. There's also the added fact that like Nice is like 17 years old. But yeah, still cheating's terrible. Don't cheat on your spouse or hubby, girlfriend, whatever.
Yeah.
Girlfriend. Yes, that is the thing.
I love the direction. This is a interesting, like, I love, like, not, for example, there's a scene where Knives comes to see if Scott's home, and Wallace opens the door. He's like, oh no, he's not, he just left. And Scott you just see slightly in the background Scott jumping and breaking through the window and then has to grab his coat. Just little dumb scenes like that made me laugh so hard in this movie. It's fantastic. And then we get to Scott meeting. Well, first he gets an email from the first Evil X, Matthew Patel, explaining the situation.
It's a fight to the death.
A fight to the death. And then the fight between Matthew Patel, and then Matthew Patel's like, well, didn't you get my email explaining the situation? I skimmed it. You insolent fool. So they have this ridiculous, like, cutscene in a video game style fight or anime style fight.
Yeah, I honestly hate my brain for how I interpreted this scene. I thought this was all in somebody's imagination. This all technically happened. Like all that, the graphics and stuff like that.
No, it's great. Yeah, and then there's this game is very video game inspired. Like every time punches happen, like a high score goes up and up, and then they do the they make fun of Sonic the Hedgehog by every time Scott defeats one of them, they turn into coins. And they acknowledge it in the show. It's like, oh, coins. And he's like, oh man, I don't have enough for the bus ride. But oh, the Matthew Patel fight is hilarious. Awesome action, and then we get Matthew Patel singing his song. And and people saying, is he a gay pirate or a pirate? Oh, I'm trying to think which one's my favorite fight. It might be Matthew Patel. I love the Matthew Patel fight. All the fights except for one are fantastic. The one is a little weak, I think, and I think they kind of rush it. But yeah, I love the Matthew Patel fight. I also love Ramona's explanations to all of her exes.
It was a phase.
It was, well, that's later. That's later. But yeah, all the exes are, ridiculous stories. Like the Matthew Patel one, he was the only non-white jock. And so she dated him, and then they beat the crap out of the entire football team. And there's another one where they destroy the moon. It's like her stories are ridiculous as well. It's just like they go into the absurd as much as humanly possible in this fantastic movie. But
it's hilarious because you get one where they punch through the moon, where I don't know, she gets with a couple twins, and she's like, I was just bi-curious, and that one was hilarious because it was the the one where she was bi-curious, because it was foreshadowed, because every time Scott mentioned boyfriends, she was like
X's.
exes, like ex-boyfriends, she's like exes. And so yeah, when he finally asks, what do you mean by, why do you keep correcting me? And it's like that exact moment. Oh, that was hilarious.
Oh yeah, it's all great. I also love Wallace's super uninterested attempt at telling Scott to fight. He's like, fight, yeah. um,
It always kind of feels like the band is kind of the secondary aspect, when it's kind of shown as the primary towards the beginning of the movie as well, come to think of it.
yeah, no, the band's cool too.
Really, it is, yeah.
The next fight we get is Lucas Lee and his stunt doubles. Which I thought was just a funny commentary on like action stars who, have, I mean, that aren't Jackie Chan and have a bunch of stunt doubles in their action movies.
Hi, Tiki.
So he has to fight all of them. And also, I love the fact that Scott just is a fantastic fighter. Just like, for no reason, they don't explain that he's a fighter or anything. He just fights and he's good at it.
I'm sure if you just don't think of it at all, then everybody in this movie is a good fighter. Like you just, like, of course he's gonna be able. I mean, the only person he wasn't able to like fight off was just a skateboarder guy, and a skater boy should, if we want to go the Avril Lavigne sector. Hi, cat. There's a cat over there.
And I love how he tricks Lucas Lee, who is, by the way, played by Chris Evans. Freaking Captain America is the skater boy Lucas Lee.
That was Steve Rogers. Wow.
That was Steve Rogers. You didn't catch that?
I did not.
Yeah, that was Chris Evans who plays Lucas Lee. And
unfortunately, because I did the math, Captain America is not going to be until 2023 for our podcast.
Yeah, it's gonna be a minute.
Yeah, we're doing this slowly but surely.
But
my cat's rubbing against the thing. Sorry.
But I love how they trick they trick Lucas Lee, and he's like, so you're pretty good at skateboarding, huh? Can you do a thingy off that rail? He's like, it's called a grind, bro. Can you do a grind thingy off that rail? And then he's like, he sees what he's trying. Yeah, he's seeing what he's trying to do, and then he points out that all his fans are watching, so he's like, of course I can. Watch this. And then yeah, he goes too fast. And then Scott's just like, wow. Wow. And then he explodes in the coins and he's like, oh man, I didn't get his autograph.
Love that. Hi, Tiki. Yeah. Can you
Yeah,
stop clawing on the couch?
Oh yeah, I have more notes, I guess.
I'm missing mine.
The next fight we have is the vegan Troy, who, by the way, is dating his ex-girlfriend, Envy Adams. By the way, the song that they play, Envy Adams, I can't remember their band name right now. Clash of the Demon Head is the name of the place, but I love that song.
That's also another aspect of this movie I feel was a little overlooked, which isn't a game changer by any means. This movie was awesome, but this guy also has a ton of ex-girlfriends as well, and I think it would have been a really cool touch if Scott had like towards the end of the movie had what's her face fight all of his exes as well.
Actually, wouldn't that be a cool way to have a sequel? Ramona versus the world. Ramona Flowers versus the world. That could be the sequel where she has to fight all of Scott's evil exes.
Yeah.
That'd be
Only only that'd be also interesting since she technically did fight one of his, like we've got
well, yeah,
like knives.
Yeah.
Which I just have to say is a very interesting choice of a name to give a child.
Knives.
Yeah, like I know you named me Xavier, which is a name. It's a name people can give someone. But like, why would you name your child Knives?
It's kind of
That's a
badass,
weird,
actually.
I guess, but still. It's
I
like,
wonder if there's a lot of people that decided to name their child Knives after this movie. Because a lot of people's names for children are inspired by pop culture and things that they like. You're named after Xavier because I like comic books and the X-Men. And it was a cool name, I thought.
and the cat's caterwauling. And yes, I must compensate my notes for the fact that I am commentating on the cat's activities. He is caterwauling at 1 in the afternoon.
And another fun fact, like I said, I really love the song that Envy and Troy sing. I love it. And that is actually the actress who sings it was a pop star. Not to mention, did you recognize the actress or Troy that played Envy?
I don't think so.
The actress who plays Envy Adams is Captain Marvel. Carol Danvers is yeah, she the actress who plays Carol Danvers and Miss Captain Marvel is the same actress, Brie Larson, and she was a pop star before she. So that's actually her singing. And then the bassist Troy.
I still haven't watched Captain Marvel yet.
We'll get to it.
I mean, maybe in the next 20 or so years.
Something like that.
Hi, Kiki.
And Troy, the vegan, is also someone. This show has a fabulous cast. Michael Cera already, Kieran Culkin. It also has Aubrey Plaza, who I mentioned is what the girl from Prey looks like. Aubrey Plaza is the I don't know if you call her a friend, but she's the one that kept telling Scott to not date Ramona Flowers, and it's the one that gets constantly bleeped.
Oh yeah, I think it's pretty funny how like nobody in this movie swears except for this one girl.
Oh yeah, and she swears a lot.
Yeah, that's her quirk. Everybody in this movie's got a quirk, like him.
Yeah, I love Aubrey Plaza, and she's fantastic in this. And then even Stacy, his sister, is Anna Kendrick, who's very popular in the Pitch Perfect movies. And Ramona Flowers is Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who was in the 10 Cloverfield Lane movie, which was really good. She's been in quite a few things. Just so many good people. And then Troy, the vegan, is played by the guy Brandon Routh, who played the Atom on the CW shows, Legends of Tomorrow, and I believe he came on, was it Arrow or Flash? And he also was Superman in Superman Returns. The Superman Returns movie, Brandon Routh plays Superman. So he's very well known. And he's great in this as well as a vegan, which I have never met any vegans that have superpowers. That's I didn't realize you could get vegan powers if you go vegan. So
it's because the treaty of vegans haven't blessed them yet because they've been cheating too much in their lives.
And I love this fight was cool, and because they were both Scott and Troy were both bassists, they had a bass battle, which was
Oh, yeah.
really cool. And then
And then the vegan police showed up.
oh yeah, he tricks
That,
him in,
that
he tricks
that
him into having regular creamer in a coffee. Which, by the way, if you're in a fight with someone and you don't trust them, why are you drinking coffee from them anyways? And Scott tricks them by
because
saying, I thought really hard that the soy was in this one. And he's like, oh, first time vegan police comes, and he's like, milk and eggs, bitch. Gelato ain't vegan? And then they're like, and then you knowingly ate a chicken. Chicken's not vegan? And then his hair goes down. And that's how Scott defeats him, with a headbutt that turns him into coins. And he just says, sorry about headbutting your boyfriend into coins. Oh, so good. Oh,
that would have had to have been one of my favorite parts of the movie. I'd say one of them because there are a lot of really good parts of this movie.
Then Scott and Ramona start getting in a fight because Scott's, in fairness, now Scott's a dick, and he probably shouldn't have got so angry with Ramona, but I understand getting a little frustrated that you have to keep on fighting evil exes. Like, I guess I can understand the frustration there. And then he fights the reason why she says evil exes and not evil ex-boyfriends, Roxy.
Yeah.
And I love this scene. And Ramona's like, I was just a little bi-curious.
Well, no, I'm bi-furious.
I'm just a little bi-furious. I laugh so hard at this scene. And then Ramona fights, and then she's like, no, he has to fight me. So Ramona just pretty much acts and forces Scott to do all the fighting by assisting him with all the fights. And the final defeat was because Ramona tells Scott about her pleasure zone. And so she gets defeated by pretty much orgasming to death.
Oh yeah, because I don't have my notes with me, I kind of forgot about this, but I usually write down notes of quotes of sexist quotes. Sexist. Okay. Yeah. Scott said that I can't hit a woman. Yeah, you can, man. Just freaking suck her in the jaw, man. You didn't have any problem with the other guys.
Roxy Richter, by the way, is played by Mae Whitman, who's also a pretty popular actress. She was in the movie called The Duff, where she stars in it. She's been in a lot of stuff. She's in the show Good Girls, that was pretty popular. Which I really liked. Good Girls. I watched quite a bit of that. She's done a lot of voiceover work as well. She's April O'Neil in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series. I actually
like the 80s one.
No. The one that we tried to watch a little bit of it. It's
like
3D.
the 3D animated one.
Yeah, she plays April O'Neil.
I remember
in
liking
that.
that.
Yeah, I liked it too. I kind of want to get back into it. Maybe with Remington.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's in the show Parenthood. She was pretty popular. Yeah, she's been in a lot of stuff and does a lot of voice actor work. After this, they kind of break up and they have their battle of the bands, and then Gideon gets his mitts back on her, and then he gets in a battle of the bands with the twins. This was by far my weakest fight because it's not really a fight; it's a weird kaiju fight
Oh
where
yeah.
their music manages to go up into one's a dragon, one's a giant ape, and they have this giant fight between the music lightning. I don't know. It's weird. It's the weakest one because it's like all the other fights have so much style and interesting stuff. This is by far this is the only weak part of the movie in my opinion. It's not terrible. It doesn't ruin it, but it's just the weakest.
CGI.
Yeah, it's just all. I mean, a
IT.
lot of it's CGI. But I do love him grabbing a one up and saying he's getting a life.
Oh yeah.
There's
That's
so
one of the
many
few
good-
things. It's one of the few things I actually remembered from this movie from when I first watched it, and I don't even think I watched it from beginning to end first time there. I just remember that.
Well, and it's foreshadowing because he does get a life.
Oh yeah.
He uses that one up,
Because
but
he freaking dies of cartoony video game physics.
and then um then he gets in a fight and he finds out that Ramona is literally being controlled. But he gets in a fight with Gideon, who is also G-Man. They talk about him throughout the entire movie. He gets in a fight with Gideon, and out of nowhere, after he defeats a bunch of Gideon's men, his sword comes out of his chest and says, "Scott Pilgrim gets the power
Power
of
of
love."
love. That's the power of love.
That's right. Huey Lewis in the
Power
news.
of love. Oh
And
shoot.
so they get in a fight, and Knives attacks Ramona because Ramona, she thinks that Ramona did everything.
Oh jeez. Ah.
And Gideon is able to kill Scott Pilgrim. Then he talks to Ramona. This is where Ramona tells that she can't help herself around Gideon and finds out she's being mind controlled.
Ah.
And Scott's like, "That's so evil." So he gets this life and comes back to life, and then he comes back, beats the crap out of his people again, and this time he tells Kim that, "I'm sorry that things didn't work out. I should treat you with more respect and everything." And Kim's like, "We are Sex Bomb! Kick his teeth in!" By the way, their band name's awesome. Sex Bomb. I love it.
Oh yeah.
I love it. If I had a
I mean,
band, that's what I'd want my name to be.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, I mean, we've also got bands like Kiss and like Sex Pistols.
Yes,
Isn't that
yes.
a name of a band?
Yes, Sex
Yeah.
Pistols are a band.
Yeah.
But then he gets, after doing all this, he gets another sword out of his chest with more stats because Scott Pilgrim earns
It's
the power of
of
self-respect.
self-respect. Which I
So then
have a new
he
style.
gets in a fight and then he stops Knives from attacking Ramona. Like, "I'm the one that hurt you, not her." And then they work together to defeat Gideon, and it's a fun fight. Both fights are fun, and then he has to fight Nigga Scott.
Oh geez. Okay, careful with that for one thing. Okay, I'm sorry. That sounded wrong for one thing. When they said that, there apparently there's this game where they've got Dr. Eggman and then Eggman Nega. It sounds so wrong, man. It's way too close. Way
You know
too
what?
close to the terrible. What?
I Yeah, I mean, maybe. I also have a feeling that it's kind of a masturbation joke, playing with himself or fighting himself. And then they come out and they're just like, "Oh man, yeah, he's just a really cool guy." It's like, And then Knives recognizes that Scott really loves Ramona, I guess, and he did fight a bunch of evil exes for her, so I guess he does. And
It's not love. It's more like lust.
a lot of people don't fight a bunch of dudes for lust unless they just like really enjoy fighting. Uh,
Keep in mind, she hasn't had sex with him at this point. Maybe he's fighting all these people just to have some sex with the girl.
maybe I don't know, but Knives is like, I'm too cool for you, so she goes away, and and then and I believe she runs off with young Neil, who, by the way, during this movie, just becomes Neil. He's no longer young Neil. He loses the young, and he's just Neil. And happily ever after, as Ramona and Scott go through the door. I love this movie. But 1 second while we take a break from our sponsor.
Yes. Yes. Recording in progress.
All right, we are back. And thank you, Anchor, for sponsoring us.
Yeah.
All right.
Now we enter into what, like, this is the extra movie facts category of crap. Hey, that's kind of like an alliteration. Category of crap. All right. When did this movie come out? 2009, right?
Comes out. It came out in 2009.
Oh. It's the same year as Dragon Ball Evolutions.
Is it?
Maybe I think I remember you saying it was 2009.
It's probably right.
A lot of things came
Oh,
out.
no. This came out in 2010.
Oh.
2010.
So about the same year as the Devo's new album, which isn't quite new anymore, actually. 12 years isn't really recent.
Yeah, so a couple things is, first off, this movie is made, the director is Edgar Wright, who is an awesome director. I love Edgar Wright movies. He also is known for, he's the guy who made Shaun of the Dead, Baby Driver, Last Night in Soho, like some really good movies, Hot Fuzz. So he's done some good stuff, and he's always got some interesting movie direction. And a couple things about this is all the band members in the band spent several weeks learning to play as part of a band. And Michael Cera actually apparently is a good bass player, and he had to dumb down his bass playing in order to not outshine the rest of the band.
Nice. I'm actually a bit of a guitar player, and by a bit of a guitar player, I mean I suck at it. But yeah, I do actually have a guitar. It's back there somewhere.
This is kind of fun. Whenever the moon is shown in the movie, it is full and there is a hole in it because of Ramona's third boyfriend, Todd Ingram, is mentioned in flashback to have punched the hole there for her when they dated. So they actually made sure there was a hole in the moon while they were talking. So I guess at the party where he talks to Ramona for the first time, Scott holds up a very badly drawn picture of Ramona and asks if anyone has seen her. I guess director Edgar Wright said Scott was originally supposed to hold up a picture of Ramona from the comic book series, but felt the silly drawing Scott holds up was more comedic. That kind of
nice.
But yeah, I love this movie. It is very funny. I mean, you got comedy in this movie, you have action. I mean, it's got a little bit of everything, I feel. Romance. It's just a great movie. So let's go with
hang on. Before we move on from the movie facts, keep in mind this is like a comic book movie, so we also need to address the comic as well. So apparently it was released in Oni Press. Oni is always a fun word. And first published in 2004. So, and he definitely, I don't know what the comic was about, but it definitely looks like the stuff you'd see in some of the games.
Yeah.
You can see that.
Yeah, they did the game and the art style of the comic.
But yeah. So yeah, this was based on a comic. That was kind of where the whole comic book movies came in. But yes. Now moving on to whatever came now the miscellaneous crap, which isn't an alliteration, which sucks. But okay. I wish I could hang him on my shoulder because he's more of a mascot.
Well, I one of the reasons I picked this movie is because for our first comic book movie, I didn't want to go with your typical comic book movie that, it's like superheroes. Like we could have done any DC movie, sure, but I wanted to do something that was more unique, but also in the vein of comic books. So I picked Scott Pilgrim. Plus, this is one of my favorite movies. I love this movie. So what rating would you give Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
Um. Uh. Is now this is not a really life lesson-y movie straight up, but like there's some weird CGI which I'm not going to downgrade it for, but then there's also like the weird cheating on a 17-year-old as a 22-year-old is gonna I don't know if I want to downgrade this too much because of something dumb like that, but it's also cheating, which isn't dumb. It's a pretty terrible thing. So I'm gonna give it like a I don't know, like a 9.5.
I'm
Because
giving
everything
this a
else in the
10.
movie
10 evil X's. That's what I give this movie. 10 evil
10 evil
X's.
X's.
I feel like this is about as perfect as of a movie you can get. It's got action. It's funny. It's entertaining. I mean, Scott's a dick, but that's kind of part of the story. That's part of his character. He is a bit of a dick. Um. So
And yeah, there is character development, which is why I only downgraded by like 0.5, but yeah. It's
I
definitely an easy 9.5 on me.
I love this movie. It's a pretty great movie for me. But what do you think the Rotten Tomatoes score for this movie would be?
Rotten Tomato. Um I'm going with an I'm going with an 80 on critic and a 90 on audience.
80 on critic, 90 on audience.
Yeah.
I actually think this has. I think it's the 92 audience, mainly because I know if I remember right, critics normally like Edgar Wright movies quite a bit. I think it's an 89. I think it's pretty close. I think it's an 89 for audience and 92 for critics.
Right.
Let's take a look. I'm slightly off. It's an 82% for critics and an 84% for audience.
So you guessed what, like 90 something for critics?
92. I was
Okay,
off the critics by 10.
So I was closer because I got an 8 because I guessed 80 for critics, 90 for audience.
Yeah, I was closer for the audience and you were closer with the critics. Yay. So what was your favorite scene in Scott Pilgrim? Or probably best fight. Which was your favorite fight?
Like I'd have to say the bassist, the guy with the vegan fight. Yeah, because you got like a bass battle, which is funny because it sounds like boss battle, which definitely fits this movie quite well. Ha 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 ha! Funny. But like then with all the vegan shenaniganry, like, oh no, like Scott somehow tricking him by making him drink like a milk sweetener or whatever, and he and then the vegan police showed up. I laughed my head off at that.
It's a great fight. I agree with you. It's really good. I think my favorite's the Matthew Patel fight. Um, just because it shows what kind of movie this is. It goes right into it. You got the song and dance that goes with it. Him and his demon hipster chicks. Um, it's just a really cool fight, and it really sets the tone for what kind of movie this is going to be. So, so yeah, I'm going to go with Matthew Patel, but honestly, I like most of the fights. The only fight that I don't care much for, and it would probably be cooler in any other movie if that was the only fight. But because the other fights are so awesome, it really brings down that 6 fight or the twins fight. But yeah, there's not really a bad one. Even that's not terrible. It's just weak compared to the others. So yeah, Matthew Patel for me. So are you ready for the Cinemantra?
Somewhat, yeah. Do you have yours ready?
Sure. So
alrighty.
My Cinemantra is, if you were to make a movie and you had video game influences, like this has, the coins thing was a Sonic influence. A lot of the music's from Zelda. He got permission from the creator of Zelda to get the music to be played, and he uses it quite frequently in this movie. And fighting games is definitely an inspiration. If you were making a video game inspired movie, not a movie based on a video game, so not like you're making a Mario movie, but if you were going to try to put video game inspiration in, what video game would you put your inspiration into?
Interesting. I'd probably want to hear your answer too after this, but I oof. There's a lot of cartoony video games that I'm a huge fan of, but like I'm pretty sure that this movie definitely had more than just Zelda. Like the extra life thing was I think that felt more like a Mega Man thing, as well as like a like the pixelated head thing is a Mega Man thing. Like you get a pixelated head. But I really like all the video game physics of what's it called? I know what I'm thinking of.
Fighting games?
Maybe fighting games, but oh, you disappeared. Okay.
Powers.
Yes, get yeah, you have disappearance powers. Huh. I like Battle Block Theater a lot because not only can you like double jump, and any games that lets you double jump is a great game, but like you can make yourself explode with a huge fart noise, and fart noises are hilarious, so why not?
I would go with
Kirby. I could also do Kirby.
That's a lot of sucking. That might be a different rating.
Okay.
I'm gonna go. I want to see. I want to see Scott Pilgrim versus the World, but instead of using like fighting game type physics and ideas, I want them to stop and like do Tetris. Like I want like puzzle games like fighting.
That'd be amazing.
It'd be so dumb. I'd love it. Or you know what? A serious doctor drama, but with Dr. Mario just throwing pills down at people.
I'm surprised that Siri didn't up and say, what do you want? And because you said serious in the way you did. But even then, even when you try to say Siri, then Siri doesn't really respond.
So what's your Cinemantra?
Wait, I need a score, man. What's my score here for my lovely, lovely Battle Block Theater Senate? And Battle Block Theater is a fun game. I think no, it came out in 2012, so never mind.
4. I'm not a fan. Not a fan of your battle block.
Of course you're not, because you're you. You're a weirdo.
You have all of video games in time and space, and you use one that barely anyone knows.
If I had to use my mind brain space to think of every single video game, we'd be here for a lot longer than we should. So yeah. We could go back to GTA, but you already said GTA when we did City Hunter. So
Yeah,
anyway,
that was a different type of question.
it was pretty dang similar, but anyway, okay. So imagine this movie. However, it's got its own little cinemonry. I do not good with words. Imagine this movie, but Scott Pilgrim is a literal pilgrim. And everything about this movie is very pilgrimesque. I don't know what the word for that would be. Um and but Ramon still has her 7 evil exes. I need you to tell me what at least one of these exes would be like. How their gimmick would be, like what would their funny thing be?
It would be Matthew Patel. He'd be a Native American, and he would like dramatically yell, "Pass the mashed potatoes, Pilgrim!"
I'll hand it to you for how rush that was. I'll give you. You know, I'm gonna give you a 9 for that. That's good. That's amazing.
You know, during the first Thanksgiving, you'd have to fight Matthew Running Feather or something.
Yes. I'd I'd be interested to see how how a random like bisexual girl would handle the days of the Native Americans. Like,
Oh jeez.
because back then LGBTQ was definitely not as accepted. I don't even want to say widely accepted. Like that, I've never heard of a I don't think I've ever heard of a bisexual when I was under the age of 13. I don't think
Unfortunately, she would probably be called a witch and burned at the stake.
That's probably
or hung.
That's probably how Scott Pilgrim would have beaten her, or specifically like Ramona, because she would have.
No, I hate to say it, but they probably would have said what she was doing was the devil's work, especially if it was a very heavy Christian Puritan type area.
That is what they did. Yeah, they were. That was a Crucible era.
So moving on.
Yeah, you get a 9. Good job. Good job.
Thank you. I tried to go less offensive than you actually.
Yes, burn them at the stake.
Burn them at the stake.
Which is delicious because steak is delicious.
That is not what that means.
All right. So what more do we have with this miscellaneous thing?
Yeah, is there anything else you want to talk about?
I don't think so. Next week we should be going into Iron Man. Then after that, we we thought we were recording when we said this, but apparently we weren't. After that, we're probably going to do a movie marathon with what's it called? Hocus Pocus?
Yep, we're gonna do Halloween movies starting next after Iron Man. We're gonna start doing Halloween month. And
Yeah.
I think we're gonna, because the Hocus Pocus 2 is coming out very soon. I think we should review Hocus Pocus and then review Hocus Pocus 2.
Well, wait, are we doing Hocus Pocus and then like the next Disney movie and then Hocus Pocus 2?
Haven't decided. Because Hocus Pocus 2, I think, is going to be on Disney Plus. So if it's on Disney Plus, we don't need to worry about. I mean, we don't have to worry about, whether you have it or not. You have Disney Plus. So
Right.
I think part of it's going to debate on whether Raina wants to watch it.
I guess there's also the fact that like I don't know, I kind of want to keep the predictable schedule, because when we get into episode 3 of Star Wars, I want it to be like planned so that I can get my friend into it.
Well, maybe we'll just do Halloween movies on the ones that isn't our, regular watch.
Yeah.
So instead of doing our randoms, we're just going to do Halloween movies around Halloween and then Christmas movies around Christmas.
Alrighty.
Sound good?
Yeah.
All right. Well, why don't you plug those pluggables?
Why did you have to say that? Dude.
Everyone says that.
Sounds wrong, man.
Well, you're just taking this really the wrong way.
I'm taking it the way anybody else would have.
No, because literally a lot of podcasters say plug the pluggables.
I didn't know that. How am I supposed to know that? I only like listen to 2 or 3 podcasts, and that's like Teching 101 and R.
If you listen to mine, you would hear that all the time. We say that all the time. Just tell us where the listeners can find you.
Okay. Okay, so you can find me at Cryokeen Artist and Instagram. I don't post nearly as much on Facebook, though I should be, because Facebook's better. And don't post a whole lot on YouTube, but I also have a YouTube thing. All of the same thing. It's all Cryokeen Artist. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all the stuff.
All the
no
stuff.
Twitter. Twitter's evil.
No Twitter.
Yes.
Well, I do have evil Twitter. My Twitter is Dragon Blazer Pro, and you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and the TikToks at Dragon Blazer Productions.
I'm an artist by heart, so I'm a heartist.
All right, well, that's all we have for Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Auf Wiedersehen.
Ciao. Bye. That's not what Toto sounds like. Anyway, ciao.
Darn it. Stop it.
I'm glad you don't edit these last parts out.
And then it was time for Toronto to drown in the sweet sorrow of the crash at Dreamhead.
That guy on base?
Oh, yeah.
That's Todd.
I know. Oh, yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
Oh no.
Hello again, friend of a friend. I knew you were. Our common goal was waiting for the world to end. Now that the truth is just a rule that you command, you crack the whip, shape shift and trick the past again. Send you my love on the wire, lift you
once again, please, if you will, like and subscribe onto our YouTube page titled Coming Soon to a Podcast Near You, where all these wacky podcasts where we watch movies and review them go on. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Peace.